Hi guys, my name is Stephanie. Today we're going to be testing ways to remove oil stains off concrete driveways. As you can see, I've got a pretty big stain here. My last car leaked a little bit for years and years. I let it go on. Now that car is gone, it's time for me to get rid of that oil stain. So I've got 8 recommendations from people online to test today, and we're going to see which one actually works. So I'm starting this test by using painter's tape to separate this stain into 8 different sections, just so we can keep everything straight. 2 of today's tests are popular store-bought products for removing oil stains on concrete, and the rest are homemade, like little hacks that people recommend online a lot. So I want to see if they actually work. I'm going to start by doing the one that is supposed to work the quickest, and that is WD-40. So the recommendation online is to spray the spot with WD-40, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then rinse it away. So let's see if this one works. So I covered a pretty big section of the oil stain with WD-40, walked away, and came back 5 minutes later to rinse it off with just clean water. I will say that while I was rinsing it off, I could see all of that oil or the lubricant, shiny lubricant sitting on top of that concrete, and it actually just looked like I had poured oil on top of the oil stain. So I didn't see how this one would actually work. If you've had luck with this method, if it really only works on super smooth concrete or something, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. But for me, you'll see after this dries later that one really didn't work at all. So let's move on to the next test. Next up, we're going to be testing Dawn dish soap on this oil stain. So I see it recommended online a lot. People recommend just scrubbing your oil stain with Dawn dish soap. I'm cheating a little bit by using my drill brush on my drill to do this. So it saved me a lot of the effort. And I'm scrubbing actually way harder than I would be able to do by hand. So I did the drill brush scrubbing for a couple of minutes in that area, put in a really good effort with that Dawn dish soap, and we'll see in a second when I rinse it off how it worked. It seems a little bit better after rinsing, but we really won't be able to tell until this area dries. So let's move on to the next test that we can do pretty quickly. The third recommendation that I saw a lot online was powdered laundry detergent. So I am using Tide Original Laundry Detergent for this test. I'm just going to sprinkle on some of that powdered laundry detergent. Since it's already wet, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra water, and then I'm going to use my drill brush again so that I'm getting the most effort for that scrubbing, and hopefully this will work really well on this oil stain on my driveway. So I scrubbed that in for a couple of minutes with that drill brush, just like I did with the dish soap. But with this laundry detergent test, the recommendations online say to scrub it in and then let it sit for 30 minutes before you rinse it away. So I'm rubbing it in, again, a little bit extra right here. Then I left it for 30 minutes before I came back to rinse it away. While I was waiting for that 30 minutes, I set up another test. This is using Rust-Oleum's cleaner and degreaser. It's made for concrete driveways, and you're supposed to apply it and leave it on for 20 minutes. You don't have to use a paper towel here. It's not on the instructions. I was just using the paper towel to try to keep that cleaner focused in that little area so it didn't leave and move into the other sections. And then I set up the baking soda test. So this one was just sprinkling the baking soda on and then leaving it for 30 minutes before you rinse it away. Some people online recommended an alternative of turning that baking soda into a paste, scrubbing it in, and then leaving that 24 hours. For this one, I'm just doing 30 minutes. Let me know if you've done the 24 hours and you've had great results with it. We're going to see what happens after 30 minutes with this one. So now I'm back. It's been 30 minutes since I applied that baking soda. So for the other 2 tests, actually probably got 35 minutes in total. I rinsed these 3 sections off, and then I moved on to the 3 final tests. And these tests actually take the longest. They're each supposed to be about 24 hours of leaving the product behind. So we won't really see until the driveway's dry whether or not any of these are really working really well. The first 24-hour test uses original Coca-Cola. So let's see if that can degrease this oil spot after 24 hours. I'm going to use the paper towel again for 2 reasons here. Again, it's going to keep that Coca-Cola focused in that section and doesn't let it run away or move into the other sections. And it also helps to keep that Coke from drying out longer. So the longer that product is wet, the longer most products are wet, the longer they're working. Once they dry out, they're not working as well. So I use that trick when I use citrus strip to strip furniture, and I'm using it here with the Coca-Cola too. So next up is Goof's concrete cleaner. So this is another popular product that people recommend a lot online for getting rid of oil stains on concrete. At this point, I didn't realize that a lot of the thinner liquid was sitting on the top of that container, and I should have shaken it up a lot better than I had, but we'll come back. I'll fix that in just a minute. The final test uses kitty litter. So this is a clumping kitty litter. You want the cheap stuff, the stuff that has the clay that it can absorb the oil in your concrete driveway, try to soak it up and pull it out of that concrete for you. So this is an oldie but a goodie. It's been around for decades. People have been using kitty litter to soak up oil on driveways. We're going to do this for 24 hours and see how it goes. And like I said, I came back with the Goof off after I shook it up some more. It's actually a pretty white looking cleaner. So I used the paper towel trick here and applied the Goof off again. And this is the oil stain 24 hours later. I brushed away the kitty litter with a broom before I rinsed the other two off. After rinsing down that oil stain and all of those sections again really well with a garden hose, I let that area dry completely out before having a look to see which sections actually clean the best and work the best. So here's that oil stain a couple of hours later after it completely dried out. And as you can see, the results aren't that great. The two best results are actually the store-bought products. So the hacks weren't really doing all that much. The WD-40 maybe lightened it a bit, it looks like, and maybe the baking soda also lightened it a bit. Here's a quick reminder of what the oil stain looked like before I started doing any of this testing so that you can again check and see how the results turned out. And again, we're looking at the results after all 8 tests. And I've decided the Rust-Oleum and the Goof off both worked pretty well, but the Goof off looks like it worked a little bit better. So I'm going to rip off this tape and I'm going to test the whole oil stain with the Goof off cleaner. Again, I have to leave that one for 24 hours. So I'm setting it up, and then 24 hours later, we're going to come back and see what it looks like. You can see here how thick and white the Goof off product actually looks compared to what it looked like when I first poured it out. So make sure you shake that up really well if you let yours sit around in the garage for a while like I did. I did the paper towel trick again. I don't know if it's necessary or helpful at all, but I did do it. So the next day I'm here, I'm pulling away all of those paper towels and I'm just going to rinse this section off with a hose. And then I'm going to let it completely dry for a couple of hours and come back and show you the results. And I just want to say, I never addressed this in the beginning, but I have tried pressure washing this oil stain before. I've had a professional come and pressure wash our driveway, and it doesn't work on the oil stain. So you do need some sort of degreaser, or something that's going to break it down if you have a tough oil stain like my tough oil stain here. And here's a look at that oil stain after it dries. So you can see in the original, in the top corner there, that it's a lot lighter now, and the oil stain looks a lot better. With my bare eye, actually, I can't even see it very well. The camera picks up a lot more contrast than I do when I'm just looking at it on my own. So I'm really happy with the results here. And it doesn't get much easier than just pouring something on, leaving it for 24 hours, and then hosing it away, right? I hope this helped you figure out how to get rid of the oil stains on your driveway. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I do try to answer them when I get a chance. And good luck with your project, guys.